Alright guys, second trip to Staten Island here. Again, working on my own. It's a 2012 Buick LaCrosse. And customer complaint is, let's see, the transmission wasn't shifting, so they replaced the transmission. And it's still not shifting. Now, they said when you drive it, some warning lights come on and the car like shuts off and it doesn't restart and doesn't shift. So something's going on here. Now this vehicle is equipped with this auto stop feature. I don't know if it's kind of like a, not really a hybrid, but I don't know, it's supposed to save gas. But anyways, let's go to the engine menu and look at some trouble codes. And as you can see, we have more than one. So, cruise control switch signal, fuel pump control module, transmission control module, hybrid powertrain control module. So it is hybrid. Control module, communication bus A, lost communication. I think that's it. So what I want to do is reset the codes, drive it, see what comes up first, chase that problem. Hopefully we can recreate this fault. Now the codes, are stored in our history, so we can clear them. And I don't know, I guess we look at freeze frame, but lost communication with transmission control system. Yeah, at this point looking at freeze frame data is not very fruitful. So let's clear the codes, key off, let's see, there it is, key on, engine off, yes, okay, continue, display codes, no codes present, start it up. Alright, everything looks normal. Okay, so it's running, no codes. Let us go to the transmission. I want to see what codes this guy is set. No codes in the transmission right now. Alright. Let's see what else. Fuel pump. Just for kicks. No codes. Okay, so clearing the engine codes might have reset more than one module here. So let's take it for a spin. I don't know what we want to look at here. Engine data. Oh man, we have a lot of data here. Engine runtime. Alright, let's take it for a spin. Let's just monitor, I don't know, some basics here. Let's see. Desired idle. Let's view. Alright, let's take it for a spin. So I drove it around for like 10 minutes. Can't recreate the problem. Everything seems normal. Let's just look at our codes again. No codes present. I have to talk to the shop owners here, see how to best recreate this problem. They just said drive it. So, I don't know. Alright, finally we have recreated the problem. service StabiliTrak, service brake assist. We have those two little icons on there, check engine light. So let us see what codes we set. No communication. Yeah, retry. Let's see, exit. Codes menu, display codes. Nice. Transmission control module requested. Control module communication bus A off, test failed. Lost communication transmission, lost communication with hybrid, powertrain control module. Okay, so a whole bunch of communication codes. And obviously they're all related. Actually, we just I guess we're back online. Now the check engine light's on. So let us check the codes for the transmission. Lost communication with engine control module. Okay, that's good direction there. And let us go back to ABS. CAN bus communication, lost communication, lost communication. So the whole network just went down. Body control module, powertrain control module. So this is actually very interesting. I don't have much experience with communication codes. Oh, did you see that? What just happened there? CAN bus. Why are we changing here? Which one is? What the heck is going on? Let's see, 140, 101, 173. No codes present. Okay, now our warning lights are back on. Wow. So this thing's going nuts. Right now, the fault is happening, it looks like. One 140, 101, 417. This is bizarre. So I guess we have to look at this network. Service side detection system. Again, all these modules are on the same communication network. So there's just one problem that explains, you know, these like 20 different codes. So it looks like right now we have a no-com. I'm trying to talk to this thing, like the PCM, and it's not happening. So now our gauges stopped working, and the car still drives, but not very well. Ooh, a little jerky shift there. And I don't think I can communicate with it at all. So let's look up some of these code definitions and see if it's you know, a CAN system failure, see how to go about diagnosing it. This will be a good learning opportunity. So now it's almost like a no start. So you shut it off. So I started delayed. Gauges are not working. Service everything. Service power steering, lights. I think basically anything on this CAN network. So we have a list of codes saved here. Let's attack them. Well, good thing we made it back to the shop, because now it is a complete no start. Key in the crank position, got nothing. Let's go look up some information. Alright, so to chase down this CAN network problem, Keith has a spiffy breakout box, and the LEDs actually show, like, you know, these grounds are good because here green lights, our power is good, and we're scoping the CAN high and low on 2 channels on the Veris here. So I guess we'll look at the signal, see what they look like. But if the LED is flashing, you're saying there's activity on there.
There is some activity, and we can actually see the activity here.
Okay, but it looks pretty not like a square wave.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So that's the problem then.
First thing we do is just get rid of these 2 on here. So it can cause the buffer to go crazy. We're gonna get it down from 10 milliseconds. We'll probably drop it down to about a 2 millisecond.
Yeah,
even less.
Get some detail.
Let's get some detail to it and see what these humps actually look like.
Now you said on the Veris you've had some aliasing issues.
I have definitely had aliasing issues.
Wow, microseconds.
Yeah, we're in microseconds right now, and even still we have a weird pattern going on here, but let me lower this voltage down, bring it down to a better scale.
Yep.
Let's go to 5 volt here,
okay.
5 volt here. And for everybody out there, yes, I'm not very versed in this scope, but I like my Pico.
But this is I guess it's a lot faster than getting your laptop out and hooking everything up.
Absolutely, I wanted to catch it while we have it happening. Look at that ramping of it.
So,
look at what's happening here. We're coasting our way up.
Okay, so it's supposed to be 0 to 5, right?
Yep, let's get a cursor on there. And I want to get an idea from here to, let's say, here. Just looking at the time right there, and then if we actually look to see what our cursors are sitting on, see how we're actually raising, our voltage is raising even though we're actually not producing a signal at that point.
And this is over, from 60 to 160 microseconds. Wow.
Right.
So you zoom way in.
So yeah, we zoomed way in there just simply to see what it actually started getting to. Let me, I see I'm used to my damn Pico. I could zoom in, zoom in.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's go.
So that does not look like a good CAN signal.
No, it does not.
So we want to see clean square waves.
Nice clean square waves, something that we can break down a little bit here. And they should be both hovering there. They'll go opposite each other. You'll have one that'll start at 2.5 volts and go above, and then one that'll start at 2.5 volts and then go down towards ground.
Okay, and they're mirror.
And that's how they're gonna. They should be a mirror image.
Mirror image.
And here we are gonna zoom that back in again one more time. I should have took the damn cursor on. I should be letting you.
You want to zoom over here?
Yeah, you're the man. Get in a little bit closer. See right here. See where we're actually losing it.
Wow.
We're actually starting to lose that signal right there. The signal starts to drop down, and it's actually going down from our 2.5 volts. It's actually going down to ground, and this side here is raising.
Okay.
This is definitely a module failure. This is not anything at all. They're not going to find like a splice pack that's failing.
So it's not a wiring issue.
No, and most of the time when you see this happening, this is a lot of times when there's one that actually has a terminating resistor that's starting to fail. So what we could do real quick, if we back out of this, since we're already pinned here, let's do a resistance check across it while we have this thing in a state where it's, even though it's producing a CAN, we can turn this key off, and just to see whether or not we actually have our 60 ohms of resistance going across.
So you're looking for 60 ohms across.
Right, because we're going to be looking at the 220 ohm resistors that they have there.
So each module has 220
you'll have
resistor?
on CAN networks, what you'll always have is you'll have a master and a slave. The master will start off, it'll have a 120 ohm resistor, and then somebody out there will be the slave. He's the other guy on the network to say that the whole network is being completed. And what you do is, obviously, when you have two resistors that are in parallel, we're going to take that and basically cut it in half. So you should see about 60 ohms on the network right now, with everything off. You don't want to have voltage running on the wire. So most of it will all turn off. We'll just close the door, switch over here, and take the ignition switch off.
Okay.
And we'll change this back over to a graphing meter.
So you're saying each module has a 60 ohm?
Only 2 modules will have it on the network.
Only 2 modules?
Only 2, right. Now we have a can high, we have a can low.
Huh.
There's actually you're gonna have a high-speed can on this car, and you'll probably have a low-speed can. GM likes to have more than one network for sure.
Okay.
So,
but
we know right now though already though on this can high that we have an issue.
Okay, and that's the low
going to be 6.
can?
Yeah, this is going to be right here. This is going to be the high-speed can.
That's a high-speed
Our 6
can.
and 14 are going to be for our high-speed can,
Okay.
and something else on here will be the low-speed can. Without a diagram, I couldn't tell you exactly which one. But,
oh, I see.
you know, depends on what they assigned it for.
And you said only 2 modules have those 60 ohm resistors?
And only 2 modules that will have 120 ohm resistors.
Okay.
Which will be a 60 ohm resistance as we go in there, right?
But why only 2 modules? Like the PCM
just simply
and the
because
AGS,
they just want to have 2 guys on the network that are one's a master and one's a slave. So as they're sitting there sending back and forth there, they're kind of just there as buffers.
Okay.
What it does is by putting the resistors in there, it also helps to eliminate what they call signal ring, which is noise that can interfere with it. So by putting the resistors in line, we're dampening down noise as like little noise filters.
Do you know which modules have those resistors in them?
Nope, but we can pull that up on the diagram. Sometimes they're nice enough to show us.
Okay.
As long as we're looking at a GM diagram.
So we have 20 modules, but 2 of them have those resistors in there. I see. Huh, very interesting.
Since I'm getting this thing set up here, I'll go back to a graphing meter.
Alright, so we got the Varus in the ohm mode, so we're just going to see resistance.
Right, we're already sitting there, we're reading at 0, so we know we're already zeroed out.
Yep.
Keys off. And since everything else is off, the key has to come completely out of ignition.
And the doors closed, you said, or doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter. So we're just going to go across here from 6 to 14.
Okay. And you
And when we
expect...
cross those,
What do you expect?
I expect to have a 60 ohm reading, but we're still too active in the car right here.
Okay.
So there's nothing else shut off yet. Let's get this. Make sure that this is latched all the way. Yeah, close your door.
So if you're seeing that means it's still...
Right, it's still active out there on the network right now.
Should that go out?
So this should actually turn off, yeah.
Okay.
That will actually stop, well,
there you
like
go.
that. And then you should be sitting around 60 ohms. We're at negative 0.3. Let me switch my leads around here from here to here.
I mean, it shouldn't matter, right?
It shouldn't, but...
Live.
So yep. So go ahead and change that up. There we have 4,000 ohm scales.
Oh.
Is there a filter on there? Yeah, why is that on there?
You don't need a filter.
Not at all.
You want...
That should
like
be
400
fine.
ohms.
400 ohms should be perfect scale. And see what we're at right now? We're at 120 ohms.
121.
Right.
Huh. And that's what you expect.
Nope. I expect to see about 60 ohms.
So we're only seeing 1 module.
I have 1 module right now that's on there.
That's cool,
and
man.
That's what's happening.
Oh, look at that. It just went up to something crazy off the chart. We didn't do anything, right?
Not at all.
Okay, should we let's up our scale here.
It's interesting. Actually, the only thing I did do was I moved here.
150. 0.14. Now we're in kilo ohms. So that's 140, 150. Wait, so it changed again?
It shouldn't continue changing like this. It should be.
Isn't there an auto range?
I don't know.
Okay, now it's 120.
This is Snap-on World.
See, this is why I would use the regular ohm meter for this.
Which I think I'm gonna go grab one real quick here, just to make sure that we don't start chasing the tails. Right there. Problem. We need a wiring diagram.
Okay, so on the old trusty Vantage, we got 122 ohms. That means we're missing 1 of the 2 modules, and now we have to look at a wiring diagram. So looking at our wiring diagram, so this is the chassis bus with the EBCM right there. You see 2 60 ohm resistors, and then multi-axis acceleration sensor, again 2 60 ohm resistors. Now these guys are on pins 12 and 13 on the DLC, so if we do a resistance measurement across those 2 pins, we should get 60 ohms, right? If those modules are...
So I'll take these out, and I'll move them over to 12 and 13. And pins 12 and 13.
We got 60 ohms.
Just like we should, that's what we should be seeing on 6 and 14.
Okay.
So,
but on 6 and 14 we see 122, which means one of the modules on
one of those terminating resistors
on that
our
tree
end
is
either going to be broken wiring going to it, or the module itself is bad. So once we identify which ones we have,
wiring or module,
we'll know what we're looking at.
So we should go to the high-speed CAN.
High-speed GM land.
Okay.
Because they don't like to call it CAN.
Oh, hi. So that's chassis expansion bus. Okay, GM LAN 1 and 2.
Right.
Now we're looking for the resistors, right?
Yep.
So let's see, zoom in on this guy.
And those will just most likely be just regular 120 ohm resistors.
Okay, so here we go. Parking brake control module. We got 260 ohm resistors.
Oh, okay.
And we're looking for more resistors in here. Let's see here. Fuel pump control module. So wait, the EBCM is also...
Sure, right, those are pins 6 and 14? Yes, we are. Okay, so there's our
6 and 14.
connector.
Yep,
okay.
So we're measuring 120 across those right now.
Right.
And so we know one of the resistors...
Oh, there it is right there.
In the... Oh, right there. The engine control module, PCM.
Yep. That's our ECM.
So, okay.
So what I'm going to do out there right now is I'm going to go out there real quick and unplug the engine control module. If this drops back down to 0, then we know the engine control module is the guy who's online, and we have to go back towards the parking brake control module.
Okay.
And
awesome.
the opposite way around, if we undo it and it stays that way, but unfortunately, though, we're going to have to close the switch. As you can see, came active again.
So, yeah, if you open the door, you can see our CAN light starts flashing right there. So it wakes up the BCM.
And this has a hood pin switch. So
and also the hood, opening the hood wakes up the BCM as well.
Oh, that didn't tickle.
Oh, you lashed it?
Yeah.
Hill bypass test?
Yeah. Give it a couple seconds.
So yeah, give it a couple seconds to... So once that light stops flashing, you can see our ohm readings all over the place now since we actually have
hopefully
voltage on there.
all the way on that switch. Sure.
Okay.
2 details.
And where is the PCM? Is it
right where we can see. Ah, dang it.
You want a screwdriver?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to grab something to push that down.
Right where we can see it, huh? It's nice and hot. Oh, crap.
Yeah. Well, like I said, they put them right out there in probably the worst areas you could think of.
They have nice heat sinks, but again. So it's definitely a heat-related problem. I had to drive for 25 minutes probably just to make it, start acting up.
Yeah.
So okay, let's see if our light is.
Take a couple seconds again.
So the BCM went to sleep. Our light's not flashing. We're at 122 ohms. Now we're unplugging this guy right here.
This is our engine control module.
So all the connectors?
Yep, because we don't know actually which one it's on, and we don't have that kind of time, because this might end up going back to being normal again.
Exactly.
So
I'm gonna look. No change. We're still at 120. No change. Still at 120. 117.
117, but not enough to change. Now,
still no change.
Tell me right there, though, this wire right here would be on our bus. That means that the parking brake controller is there and he's up and working. Right now we have bad ECM.
Wow. That's it.
Now we can verify the wiring going back. We can sit there and do the exact same resistance check, and we can create a resistance going across here. If we come across these pins that are up here right now, and we read back going that way,
you'll still read 120
inside. We should read 120 going back there. That should read back to the parking brake control module from the 2 pins that we have here. Which
so you have to find those, or you can look at the wiring diagram.
Right, just get the wiring diagram, locate which ones they are here.
And that's a quick check of wiring integrity?
Quick check, wiring integrity all the way back in, but we have to make sure that we disconnect our voltmeter.
That's beautiful.
Because otherwise we read the resistance of the voltmeter also, which is 10 mega ohms.
Well, okay, you want to put the voltmeter on there.
Because we'll be adding this in as something else that's actually in the line there as a resistance.
But you won't see that because you're only going to be reading 120.
It'll be above what we're actually doing, yeah, but you want to make sure you do it though, just that way you don't get your scaling off, you know what I mean, when you're out there doing your checks. But
so basically wiring diagram, and you're going
to
put it across those 2 pins at the PCM connector.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we already identified the connector.
So let's see, engine control module pins 39 and 40 on connector X1. Right there. Let's see. Engine control module 3940, and those are white and dark blue. Well, we know the pin numbers. It's 39 and 40.
Now, if we go back out and go into an ECM connector view,
okay,
it'll make it a little bit easier.
Okay, so
when
X1.
they identify the connector, they'll generally tell us what color it is.
Okay, so you want to go to connector views.
Vehicle level.
Yep.
And engine control module itself, you can hit
ECM. Let's see, engine, powertrain management.
Computers and controls.
Yep. Let's see what up.
Right there. Let's just go back a little bit. Right there on it. Right here.
Engine control module. Okay. And you're saying this should give us diagrams.
Yep,
X1?
X1.
X1.
Yep. Yeah, they do that a lot, by the way, because that was the
nice.
German influence. And when you come down here into the wiring diagram, a lot of times what they'll give you a little bit further down. Scroll that down, and they'll actually give you the color of what you have here. So
okay.
A little bit back.
Let's see.
And let's see if they were nice enough to do that for us today.
3940. 3940 right there.
Black connector.
Sealed black?
Right. So they're saying it's in this connector.
Oh, okay, because it's a black color.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right. And you can verify that. You can go back one and then go check like X2. And it should say something like gray. It'll say sealed gray. And then the other one will say sealed blue.
Let's see, X2. And this says, let's see, where are we looking at?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not this one. Diagnostic test probe. Oops, excuse me.
Yep. Connector.
Black with a black terminal position assurance lock. So this is black with black terminal position assurance lock.
Okay.
Let's go back to X1 one more time there, just to verify.
Okay.
Because it didn't mention the lock in that one, if I'm not mistaken.
X1. Oh, so they don't all have locks?
Well, they all have it, but when they're saying connector position assurance lock, they're referring to this piece right here that actually slides in and holds those connectors, the little individual pins in place.
That's the assurance lock.
Yeah, that's our CPA.
So it's sealed, 73-way sealed black.
Interesting. See, they don't mention it. Okay, so we know that this is black and black.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. So let's go to pin the connector number 3, and maybe we can identify it there. Maybe they'll say gray.
Okay, CX3.
If it says gray, then we were on the right one there with the blue.
What does this
Good
one
old
say?
GM. It says nothing but sealed black, just like the other one did.
Oh, so that's not very helpful.
Nope.
And they're all 73 way. So we can look at I guess the location of the.
Yeah, maybe if they're nice enough.
Let's see. Oh, locations. No, that's just the PCM itself. X50, no. So you want connector locations, right?
Try it that way. Go back and go to connector locations.
Yeah, let's see, locations. Connector locations. Okay, X, what are you looking for? X what?
It was X1.
X1?
That's all they gave us was X1, 2, and 3.
Master component list. Oh, I don't even know. X50, X51. I can't believe they don't give you.
Yep. This is what happens. This is the exact same way in GMSI, by the way.
Well, so you said because when you unplug the third one, the resistance changed a little bit.
Right,
so
which I believe are going to be the blue one right here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these off.
Yep.
We're just going to get these connectors.
We know the wiring colors.
And we know the wiring colors, and we'll go from there.
That's what really
Hopefully, GM doesn't do something else that they like to do, which is
white and
use the same
dark
wiring
blue.
colors and the same terminal numbers on multiple connectors for their LAN. And what were our pin numbers?
39 and 40. And it's a white wire and a dark blue wire.
Alright, so that would end off at 53.
39, 40.
Okay.
There's dark blue. Huh.
This is where we need the count from Sesame Street to come in here and start counting them off.
So they should be neighboring pins. 39, 40.
And I do not see
So
a
sequencing.
dark blue and a white. Yes, I do, right here. Dark blue and white.
Bingo.
And that should be about right if that's 53.
So they go by rows, right? One.
They do. And it
Like
starts
that.
from 53 and goes up this
Goes that way.
So this is, yeah, this will be us right here.
Okay, those two wires there. So we can
Should be these two wires, which are how many
probe
in?
it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is empty.
Yep.
7 and 8.
7 and 8.
And going across that was the second row from the bottom.
Nice. Yep.
So going in again, that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So
7
it should
and
be
8.
This one
Uh-huh.
and
And the neighboring
this
one.
one, hopefully right there, and we're at 129 ohms.
Close enough,
Which is,
right?
Yep, that's good enough for me right there.
129. So
That-
that's the
that tells
resistance
me that our
in
resistance,
the
yep,
was
that's
it
it, the
parking brake control module.
Yep. So our wiring integrity
Sweet.
is good. We are putting an ECM in this vehicle.
That's that, huh?
Welcome to Staten Island. This is where we put in a lot of ECMs apparently.
Yeah, every time I come here, it's like all day long. It's either PCM replacement or ripping out aftermarket garbage. Okay, so and the history of this
at this
vehicle.
point here, this is not a matter of checking powers and grounds of the ECM or anything else, because this is just a hardwired resistor in the ECM, and we're probably losing that there, either a solder joint on the board, something along those lines. That's actually what's wrong
So
with it.
just because you lose that resistor, it takes down the network?
It takes down the network, and if it cannot communicate with the ECM, then why would they want to start? Because
Wow.
that's who actually controls our
So-
crank relay and things of that nature.
So what if you put in a 60 ohm resistor across those two pins, like externally,
If you put a 60, well,
or 120, and then the system will be like,
the problem is that the ECM is using that as part of their processing also, to accept that the network is there. So unless we actually
Okay.
went into the ECM and put it on the board itself,
Uh-huh.
it wouldn't help us.
so it's not just this
Right.
primitive simple resistor in
Would
there,
some of
it's
the other
on the board.
would some of the other modules may choose to say that everything is okay,
Uh-huh.
but realistically, though, this is still our data wires.
Yeah.
And they're passing through that resistor, so
Right.
we're losing that data right now from the ECM.
So the computer's fried.
The computer's no good. But let's do, how about if we plug it back in there again? If you want to get this set back up in there again on 6 and 14,
Okay.
maybe
Uh-huh.
we'll do a tap test on it and see if it decides
See if
to,
it might come back.
because maybe it is, you know, if it's just a
Uh-huh.
solder joint, something like that.
All right.
you know,
Yeah, let's do that.
maybe we can.
Yeah. So we're back at 61 ohms after plugging in the PCM. So you want to unplug it and see? Just the bottom connector, right? Yep. Okay. Yep. Back to 117 or 120. You plug it back in. 61 ohms. So maybe even just stressing that pin a little bit. Yeah. So plug everything back in. See if the car starts, right? Well, that will definitely be that's definitive proof there if it restarts.
Little connector. What's holding you?
Oh, the lock.
Yeah, the lock should be free.
Well, this one isn't either.
Right, but when I push it on,
Oh yeah.
it hits into those two little retainers. It should be.
Looks like something off an Audi or something.
Oh, how about this? That would work.
They have their own homes, huh?
Yeah, they certainly do. And they were color coded.
All right. We're 60 ohms. Let's try to start this.
Keys are on the seat.
Keys are on the seat. I swear the Germans designed this thing. I mean, look at this. This is an
Absolutely do.
Audi Volkswagen key. So you're telling me this is Euro trash, huh?
Absolutely.
Nope, no start.
No start.
Well, let's see. The gauges work now.
Is this a depress the brake one?
There you go. So yeah, all the warning lights are still on. It says service power steering, like service all the modules. It keeps cycling them on the display.
Yep. And they will, because they've already tripped the code.
So once they trip a code, They won't self-reset?
They won't self-reset. They'll actually leave some codes in the system there for us to know about.
Okay.
It'll take probably about like 3 to 5 starts. Eventually it will clear out on its own. They'll start to drop out.
So, do you want to do a tap test, see if anything happens? But again, this thing probably cooled down a little bit, and
I think it was.
This thing was wicked hot after running. I mean, even right now, just to touch it's not cool. Nothing heat related. So the history of this vehicle, you're saying it had a new transmission put in?
Yeah, they had placed the transmission in this car because they would actually stop shifting as they were driving.
Okay.
Now, obviously the PCM still has control, but what it doesn't have is any kind of a network going back and forth. And so on there also, even on that chassis bus, all this communication has to be there because we have a differential clutch module in this car.
Well, this is front-wheel drive.
Right. Well, in this case here, though, that's what their network was set up for. So it's actually, it always has some kind of a way to keep it going long enough. GM likes to call it limp home mode.
Yeah, it actually drove pretty decent even with the lights on for a while, but then once we got here, it was a complete no start.
That was it. Still needs it to restart, and certainly needs it more for throttle response and things like
Absolutely.
that.
Hey, that's really neat. I think I learned a lot on this one. I'll definitely be buying one of those breakout boxes from AES Wave. I like that. Yep. So you got all your indicator lights. You know, our can is active. I mean, that's sweet. You just plug it in and banana jacks. Do all your voltage measurements. No need to back probe. That's guerrilla style, right? This is the civilized way to do it.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Alright, I think that's it for this video. So, needs a new PCM, 2012 Buick LaCrosse.